Hello, how to make lasagna. This is my lasagna video. As you can see here, I have all my ingredients and tools, so we'll go over them one by one. This is ricotta cheese. Ricotta cheese is, well, I'll show you the cheeses later when I open them. You need ricotta cheese, you need Parmesan cheese, which is actually like a powdered cheese that you put on top of spaghetti. You need mozzarella cheese, which this is the cheese that is on top of pizza. You need ground beef. You need 1 onion. You need parsley, oregano, black pepper, lots of garlic. You need canned tomatoes and tomato sauce, and the lasagna noodles, which, as you can see, they're long and flat and curly, and that's how it's supposed to look when it's finished. It's a big, looks like a layer cake almost. Now this is where I have to cook the meat first, and this has been in our family for like 50 years. It's made of cast iron. It's very good for cooking. And while that's doing, then I'll boil the noodles in this pot. And while the meat is cooking, I have to chop up the onion into little pieces. And at the same time, I will mix the sauce in a big bowl. And after the meat is finished cooking, then you mix the sauce in with it. I'll show you. There we have 1 onion chopped nice and small. And then at the same time, we have the meat, which is browning in the pan. I think we might need a little more. And this is the bowl where I will mix the sauce. In case you're wondering, this is what oregano looks like, which I'm sure you know what it is. It actually has a very distinctive smell. Parsley looks very similar, which is just plain green, of course, you know, pepper and garlic. Gotta use lots of garlic. In the meantime, we are boiling a pot of water, and that's where the pasta noodles will go. And so, when the meat browns, then you stir in the onions and go from there. Now, while the meat is cooking, we can get the ricotta cheese ready, because ricotta cheese actually comes in like a big clump. Ricotta is an Italian cheese, which actually ricotta means twice cooked. Ricotta cheese is made from goat's milk, and it looks like this. Just plain, looks kind of like soft ice cream or yogurt or something. So I'm gonna set the camera down. That's how it looks when you put it in a bowl. As you can see, it's like one big solid blob. So what I do, because you have to mix it in with the meat when the meat is finished cooking, you have to mix it in with the hot meat. So what I do to stir it up is I mix it with an egg, and that makes it easier to work with. And I will show you what I mean when we're ready for it. Now that's how it looks after I mixed it all up, and you can see the yellow of the egg is in there. But ricotta doesn't really have any taste. But when you mix it with the meat, I'll show you why it's important to have it nice and mixable like this. It's almost like almost a liquid. But you will see why you need it that way. As you can see, ricotta cheese is actually not very fattening, because goat's milk isn't very fattening. Goat's milk is actually better for you than cow's milk, but it has a weird taste, so people don't usually drink goat's milk. Now, as you can see, the meat is almost finished, but if you notice one thing, hamburger has a lot of fat. In fact, the definition of hamburger means it can be up to 25% fat. There's actually three kinds of hamburger. You can get regular hamburger, or you can get hamburger made from chuck, steak, or from sirloin. But chuck and sirloin will cost you twice as much. This is 2 pounds of regular hamburger, which costs $6. 2 pounds of chuck would have cost like $8, and 2 pounds of sirloin would have cost like $12. So, but there's a secret. You can use, if you just, all you need to do when you use regular hamburger is when you finish cooking it, you use one of these and you just drain the fat off of it and you'll be fine. And that's what I do, because all hamburger tastes exactly alike to me. Beef is beef, but why spend more for when you don't have to? Meat is already expensive enough. Anyway, I'm gonna drain this and then we're gonna mix the sauce, and we'll still have to wait for the water to boil before we put the pasta noodles in there, because we have to have them soft. They actually make noodles like this that you don't have to boil, which sometimes I get those, but you don't always find them in the store, so you stick with the regular ones. And there you are, 2 pounds of beef with all the excess fat removed. And then we'll just put it back into our pan here, because now we will add the onions. You want the onions to cook separately with the meat, because onions are very crunchy and you want them to get soft. So we'll cook them in there for about 5 minutes. Makes your whole house smell like cooking onions though, but hey. And there you can see all the onions mixed in. I'm gonna cook that for like 5 minutes. Smells really, really good. As you can see now, our water is boiling, so now it's time to cook the lasagna noodles. I don't know if you've ever seen lasagna noodles, but this is what they look like. They're long and flat, but they're basically made out of the same thing as spaghetti. And we're gonna need about 4 of them, 4 or 5. And we just need them to boil for like 10 minutes until they get kind of soft. Until they get soft like spaghetti. And then comes the fun part, the building of the layers. Alrighty, now everything is ready. So now we get to build it. And you see, this is the pan it goes in. You need a long square pan like this. And the first thing you do is you take about 2 big spoons and you put that on the bottom of the pan. Spread it out a little. I actually didn't have tomato paste because I forgot to buy it, but you can use canned tomatoes. It'll be fine. It'll just be not as thick. And then, after you put that on the bottom, you need to take out your noodles and you lay them like this and like this. And like that. You need the noodles because when you cut it, it comes out in like pieces like cake. And then what you do, after you made your foundation, you just take all the rest of your meat sauce and you pour it all in. And you want to do this while it's hot so that the ricotta cheese will mix in properly. Probably could have used a little more meat, but this is fine. Now remember the cheese we had mixed up. You take it and you put it in like this. I'm gonna have to set the camera down while I do this. Now when you get it like that, then you make a sculpture. It doesn't matter if it gets all the way to the edges, because it will when you bake it. Okay, now that's cheese number one. Then you take the shredded mozzarella cheese. You just pour that all in there. Now this, you want to make sure you get to the edges. This is the cheese that they use on pizza. This is what makes pizza stretchy and chewy when it melts. And then after that, you just sprinkle this on top and you bake for about a half hour. And I will show you what it looks like when it's done. It looks after you put the Parmesan cheese on. And you just smooth it around with your hand. And then this goes in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes. And that's it. Okay, we're going to check and see how we're doing. And I don't know if you can hear it cooking, but you can see it there on the edges. And we're just waiting for the top layer of cheese to melt. And that's it. This will definitely make you full, and it will make you sleepy because there's so much meat and cheese in there. But I will show you when it comes out how it looks, the finished product. And here we are. This is our finished product. This is ready to come out of the oven. It is bubbling, boiling hot. And I will set the camera down and I will take it out and show you how it looks when it's out. And there you have it. One big thick pan of lasagna that will fill you up, and in the meantime your house will smell like garlic for about 2 or 3 days. But it's great. Love it. There is the finished product.
Let's go places, but let's be ready.
Yum, 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 yum,
Let's
yum.
do our homework.